Hi, I'm in a great mood. I feel like every time I put my glasses on, I just get this whole I'm a professor thing again. So, welcome class. Let's talk about how to fix your shitty life. I'm just thinking today about how there's not much talk about what law of attraction and manifestation really is and what it could be for a lot of people. Because, this is so much more than just manifesting your dreams, these specific things that you want. And I want to talk about that because I feel like there isn't really, I'm sure some people are talking about it, but a lot of people are just talking about getting these manifestations and specific people and all that. And that's great. I think, we live in a physical world and we're supposed to get what we want. So, of course, yeah, we should be talking about those things. And sometimes I talk about those very same things here as well. But really, my understanding is that this is so much more than that. Because when you first get into this, why do you get into this? It's because there's this promise of getting everything that you have ever wanted. And yeah, it's true. You will get everything that you have ever wanted. I'm just saying this now so you can put the pitchforks down. It is true. But I feel like when you first get into this, at least this was me, when you first get into this, you don't really understand what the point of all this is. The point of all this is not really the manifestations, even though those are important too. And yes, like I said, you're supposed to get them. But when you first get into this, you just want the stuff. I want my things. Where is my stuff? And it's like somebody is finally saying the opposite of what you have been taught your whole life, which is that you can't have the stuff. Now somebody is actually saying you can have the stuff. You're supposed to have the stuff. So of course you're like, where's the stuff? I want the stuff. Where is it? I want it. And then you get obsessed with law of attraction and manifestation and getting the stuff. That's what you're obsessed with. And I get it, because we are physical beings in a physical world. Well, we are physical beings partly, I should say. But we are in this physical world to physically experience all the things that we want. Yes, that is true. But this is so much more than that. And that's what I want to talk about here today. So if you're one of these people who is just obsessed with those manifestations, which I don't fault you for, I was just like that when I first started, then this may not be the video for you, because you're just going to be like, where's the stuff? I want the stuff. That's just where you are right now, and that's okay. But I'm just saying that there are like levels to this. Ultimately, law of attraction is just a universal law. It applies to everyone at all times, everywhere, and whether they are aware of it or not. It is just like gravity. You don't apply it. You don't apply gravity. You don't practice gravity. It just is. It just applies itself to you. And law of attraction is the exact same way. Law of attraction is not this thing where you get out a wand like this sometimes and you just go, boom, this thing that I want has happened now. It's not like that. It's just a thing. This law applies to you at all times, no matter what you are doing, even if you're not even aware of it. So everyone is always practicing it because everyone is always thinking and feeling something. And it's your emotional state. It's what you're feeling. That is what is being responded to. That's what the universe is responding to. And it is the story that you tell about your life. You could tell a very magical story about your life, how everything is always going well for you and everything always works out for you. And here are so many things that you appreciate and you feel so blessed to have this life. And you get everything you want. And so this would be the story that you're telling. If you start telling this kind of story, yeah, the universe will start proving you right. And the opposite is also true. If you start telling a story about how everything is so shitty and you're always complaining about things and you're always venting about this and that and the other, and how you are a loser or something, the universe will start proving you right. It passes no judgment. It just responds to how you feel. It responds to who you feel you are and what you feel your life is. Anything that anybody is living at any given point in time is because of the story that they are telling about their lives. So, how does this relate to manifestation? Obviously, how you are feeling is going to affect what manifests. Because in order to manifest anything, even though we have manifestations happening all the time that we don't even think about, like the fact that I am breathing right now is a manifestation. Everything, ever, is a manifestation, even if you're not consciously aware of it. It's just that I have an expectation, subconscious expectation that I will continue breathing, and so therefore this keeps on manifesting, basically. But in order to get these things that you want, that you would call your dreams, you have to get to a good feeling state, a good feeling emotional state, because everything that you want feels that way. It represents some kind of good feeling, because think about it. If it didn't feel good, you wouldn't want that thing. If that thing, your dream, if it manifested and it felt terrible, you wouldn't want it. You want it because you believe you will feel better when you have it. You will feel happy, you will feel good. That is why you want it. So you have to create that feeling, because this is what the universe is responding to. It is always responding to how you feel, your emotional state, which means you need to create that feeling inside of you before any physical manifested evidence can show up that you have been feeling that way. So yes, it means that you have to feel happy, you have to feel good without any reason to feel this way, other than you want to feel this way. And this is what you first miss completely when you get into this, because you're so obsessed with those manifestations. This is why people think that law of attraction is waving this magic wand or something and getting all of your wishes. But really, law of attraction is about managing your emotional state, which is the only thing you can control anyway. You can't control people and you can't control conditions. They are uncontrollable. You can control the thoughts. You can choose the thoughts that you think in your own head. You can choose to keep on thinking something or to think something different. And that is the only thing ever making you feel any type of way about anything. It is not the conditions and it's not the people. It's always the thoughts that you think about those conditions and about those people and what they are doing and saying and whatever. That's what it is. And this is so important because your life is just a string of moments in which you feel some type of way. It's not these big manifestations. Your life is not when this specific person gets here. Life is not when this opportunity that you really wanted gets here. Your life is right now. And it very well might be that this person, this opportunity is not here right now, but your life is still right now. And since the universe is responding to how you feel, and it's always responding to you in your now, then it really matters how you feel. Your now is just becoming more and more of how you feel. There's always going to be the next now and the next now. It's now, 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 now. So if you don't feel good now, you can be pretty certain that the next now is not going to feel good either. And then those things that you want don't come because those things feel good. But you don't feel good right now, so you are not a match to them. Basically. But even then, it's about so much more than that. Because, when I first got into law of attraction, I also got into this because I can't even remember what I wanted, what was the specific desire, but I'm sure it was some manifestation that I wanted. So then I discovered this whole thing. And obviously it gets your attention right away, right? The way that everyone is always talking about these manifestations. That really gets your attention. But then, if you actually start getting into this and you actually start learning this in a deeper way, more in depth, then you learn that, like I have been saying, in order to get to those manifestations, you have to get to a good feeling emotional state. That's just the way that it is. Because everything that you want represents a good feeling, and you have to be a match. You have to feel good so good feeling things can come to you, basically. But when you're really depressed and you discover the law of attraction, well, now this might be the first time in your life where you are actually face to face with your own feelings about everything, about yourself, about your world, about the world at large, about anybody else in the world, about anything that you want, anything that you believe in. You can't pretend anything anymore. You can't say, actually, you know what, I am fine, I am happy. Because then those things that you want don't come, because you don't feel happy, you don't feel fine. And the universe knows that as well. Like, you can't pretend anything. It is just responding to how you actually feel. So that's why it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. Because if all of the saying and doing is not changing how you're feeling, then nothing is happening. That's just the way it is. So when you get into this and you're a depressed person, now, for the first time in your life, you cannot run away from your feelings anymore. Because if you want the life that you want things to get better, you have to actually deal with your emotional state now. You have to actually start accepting these feelings that are actually there and working through them. This is why law of attraction turns out as like a self-help thing. Because in order to get those things you want, you have to change your emotional state. If that state currently is depression or any kind of negative feeling, you can't get the things that you want because those things feel good, as I keep on saying. So I just want you, I want to try to get you thinking about more of that side of things, because this is what I feel like a lot of us miss when we want to manifest whatever we want to manifest. And this is why those things don't happen, because often you don't actually care about how you feel at all. You're just trying to do some sort of thing. You're trying to use some sort of tool to make something happen, and then it doesn't happen because your emotional state when you're doing that is broadcasting to the universe, this thing is not happening right now. This is not my reality right now. Therefore, I feel that I need to make something happen. I need to do something. If you need to do something, if you need to make something happen, that's as good as saying it's not happening right now. And so the universe, this is what the universe hears. It's not happening right now, so therefore here's more of that. Here's more of this not happening right now. Because that's what your emotional state is. And if your emotional state is something negative, anything, even just a little bit negative, that's also as good as saying it's not happening right now. Because all of your desires, everything that you want, feels good. So for you to feel bad, even just a little bit, that must mean that in this moment, you are not believing in those things that you want. Because otherwise, you wouldn't feel bad. Because otherwise, you would be meeting up with the non-physical part of you, the higher self, the inner being part of you who is living those things and who never feels bad. Because why would you feel bad if you are living those things? I hope that you're like hearing this in some kind of way. If you are feeling bad, you are not believing in the things that you want in this current moment. And it's like this degree of how bad you feel. It's like if you feel just a little bit bad, then you just a little bit don't believe in the things that you want, a little bit in disagreement with your higher self. If you feel really, really bad, like unbearably bad, then you really, really, really don't believe in the things that you want. And you are really, really, really in disagreement with your higher self, who is living those things and calling you towards them. You are feeling the discord between what your higher self is thinking and what you, the physical you, is thinking about those things that you want. If you are not believing in them, and your higher self is believing in them because it's living them, then you feel bad. And when you feel bad, you are not moving towards the things that you want. Because they're waiting for you on the good feeling path, not the bad feeling path. So you see, you can't fake your emotional state. Because you're always being responded to. So it's very possible, like, this is actually what happened to me, that when you are in depression, you want to get to a life that you actually deem worth living, then this whole thing, this law of attraction, this manifestation business, actually ends up being a self-help thing. If you learn it in this kind of way, if you actually learn what your emotions mean, if you actually learn that there is a whole emotional spectrum that you have to go through in order to get to a better feeling place, so that those things can actually start manifesting. It's not that you need to say some specific things or do some specific rituals or something. It is all about how you feel. And if you don't feel so good, then noticing that, then trying to do something about it. Sometimes you can do something about it with physical activities. Try to help yourself that way. And other times, it's about thinking better feeling thoughts that would give you relief. And when you learn this law of attraction thing, then you learn how to do that. And that's actually what life is about. All of these self-help practices, no matter what they are, they don't have to be manifestation or law of attraction. They're all about that. They're all about making yourself feel better. Getting yourself to feel good so that you can actually live an enjoyable life. Like that's what it is at the core, no matter what it is. And no matter who is teaching it. Like it's all the same thing. And law of attraction is exactly the same thing. You can't get to those things that you want from a bad feeling state. That's just how it is. So it's possible to take yourself from a feeling of depression, so from a feeling of powerlessness, to a feeling of empowerment, if you understand how the laws of the universe work, how law of attraction works. And you have to do that, in fact, in order to get those things that you want. You have to learn how this all works, because otherwise you're just not going to get them. You're just going to keep on living the things that you already have been living, and nothing changes. So, I wanted to talk about this because it feels to me as if not many people are talking about it in this way. It's always about manifestations, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because as I say, we do all want those manifestations, but it's just that if you're not getting them, then the likelihood is that you just don't currently have really an understanding of what law of attraction really is. It's about how you feel in your day-to-day life, because those moments, those little moments, are the pathway to everything else that you want. Your life is not these big manifestations. Your life is these little moments in which you feel some type of way. And you're just getting more and more of how you feel. So it really matters how you feel. But you don't get this when you are first starting out, or at least I didn't get this, because you're so obsessed with those dreams and so obsessed with those manifestations. And yeah, I do think it's part of the process that you have to prove to yourself, first of all, that law of attraction is real, right? You can't get anywhere else before you have proven to yourself enough that yes, this is a real thing. And that yes, you are being responded to in your life. But after that, it's so much more than just that. It's so much more than just your dreams and manifestations. It's like your whole life and everyone that you know or are aware of is being responded to just as you are. You are always practicing the law of attraction because you're always thinking and feeling something, and that's what's being responded to. So, if you are practicing something like complaining about things, then this is affecting your emotional state. So this is just turning into more and more things for you to complain about. That's how law of attraction works. That's where your focus is, so this is what you're going to get more of. And when you're focused on appreciating things, finding things to feel good about, consciously doing that, consciously deciding I am going to do this because this makes me feel better than this complaining thing, then you're going to get more things to appreciate, more things to feel good about, more good feeling moments in your life. Because that's just how law of attraction works. It's not making any judgments. The universe is not like, oh, I don't like you, so I'm not going to give you the things that you want because I don't like you. It's just responding to how you feel and the story that you tell about anything. And sometimes we are so resistant to telling a better feeling story about our lives because we keep on coming up with reason after reason and excuse after excuse for why we can't have the things that we want or why we can't tell a better feeling story. And all of that just keeps those things from coming to you. It's not that somebody else is keeping them away from you. Nobody else has any power in your experience. Nobody can manifest or attract anything for you. But you keep those things away from yourself with your, inner monologue about how you can't have those things. It's the, I want this, but here are all the reasons why I can't have it, or why I'm not worthy of it, or why I am not deserving of it. I would just like to make a side note that this worthiness thing and this deservability thing, honestly, it shouldn't even be a conversation, because yes, you are worthy of the things that you want. Yes, you are deserving of the things that you want. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Like, this is why you're here on earth, to get those things that you want. It shouldn't even be a conversation. There's nothing to talk about, because you are worthy and you are deserving. Period. That's it. So, going further than that, now you just have all of these reasons and excuses that you come up with in your own head. I know that's how it is, because this is how I used to be as well. For why you can't have the things that you want. And so they never happen. Because you are the one keeping yourself apart from them. Nobody else is doing that. The universe is here with your things, okay? It wants to give them to you, send them to you. But if you keep on saying, I want this, but you can't ever get there. And it takes a self-convincing before you're able to start letting go of that. You have to logically realize that this is what it is. You have to get yourself to logically realize that it's my own patterns of thought that are keeping these things from coming to me. It's not that the universe has decided that it doesn't like me. And if those things are not showing up, it can only be because you're not currently... Sorry, my microphone thing just fell. If something that you want is not coming to you, it can be for one reason and one reason only, which is that you are not currently, right now, in this very moment, a match to the thing that you want. Because, yes, I can be convinced that there is the divine timing at play, in the sense that you can't really say that tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m., I am going to manifest XYZ. You know that that's not how this works. So you can't say exactly at that time, this exact thing is going to happen. But you are also not supposed to be apart from it forever and ever and ever. So if it's not coming to you easily, it can only be because you're not letting it be easy, or you're not believing in it, or you are doubting it more of the time than you are believing it. Because it's not like the universe, this is my understanding of the laws of the universe. It's not like there is this receptionist auntie who is there oh, you want this thing? Oh, sorry, the wait list is just so long. We just haven't gotten to you yet. But in 3 months, we will get to you, I promise. It's not like that. The universe is just waiting for your emotional state to become a match to the things that you have asked for. So again, the question becomes, how do you actually feel? How do you actually feel? You can't ignore that. You can't pretend that it's something that it isn't, because the universe knows. If you are manifesting, if you're not getting something that you want, you know what you're manifesting? You are manifesting the lack of that thing that you want. So this must mean that you're right now matched to the lack of the thing that you want. It cannot be any other way. And this doesn't mean that you are always going to be a match to the lack, but I just want to try and get you to think about why that might be. Is it because you're coming up with reasons why you can't have that thing? Is it because you are doubting it so much of the time? Is it because you're doing a lot of complaining in your life about stuff? Because if you are feeling bad on a consistent daily basis, then you are not the match to the things that you want, because those things feel good. I'm saying it again. And if you consistently feel bad, then the only thing that is really happening here, it's not that you are not worthy of these things. It's not that you are not deserving of these things. You are worthy and you are deserving. Period. It's only your own patterns of thought. You're practicing something in your own head, thinking some type of way that makes you feel bad on a consistent basis. And because you don't care about how you feel, or maybe you don't know that it's important, or it's like the main thing with this whole manifestation business, then it means that you're also not doing anything about it, most likely. And maybe you don't even know that there are things you could do about it. I'm gonna link a video here about something that you could do, because I've talked about it before. But in order for you to actually get to a better feeling place, you do actually have to, do something. You can't keep on going off on those negative, bad feeling tracks like a train in your own head and get something different, because it's just not how this works. The universe is just, your reality is just matching how you're feeling constantly. So if nothing is changing, then the logical conclusion must be that you're not changing from the inside. How you're feeling about things is just not changing. This is the only logical reason for that, because that's just how the universe works. So law of attraction and manifestation. It's not about waving this magic wand and making all of your wishes and dreams come true, even though they will come true. If you get to that better feeling state, if you are actually like consistently feeling good, yes, those things will come. I have seen it myself. It's happening in my own life. It was happening before, it's happening currently. And more stuff like that keeps on happening. Because I care about how I feel. Like, this is what this whole thing is about. It's about caring about how you feel. Because that is the only way those things can come to you. And the most important thing of all, if you're still here with me, that means you're ready to hear this. Those things that you want them because you believe that you will feel better in the having of them. Like, try it out with yourself. Ask yourself, why do I want this thing? And this is going to take you a while, probably. It did take me a while to get to this point. Your final answer, you have to finally get to this place where your answer is, because I believe that I will feel better in the having of it. Or I believe that I will feel better if this thing has happened, or if this thing is that way. Because it will take you a while, because you will just start coming up with reasons for why it isn't that way. Reasons for why it feels like it's something else than that, than this feeling better thing. But actually, yeah, it is because you believe that you would feel better if things were that way. So I'm just coming back to my original point, that it's about how you feel. You can, if you get into this business, basically, you can no longer ignore how you feel. You cannot pretend anything. You cannot tell your brain, everything is fine, I am happy. You know you don't feel that way, and the universe knows that you don't feel that way because it's just matching how you're feeling, and that's it. And then that's what your life is. So this whole thing will just end up teaching you, if you are willing to learn, how would you manage your own emotional state? Which is the only thing you can control anyway. You can't control conditions, you cannot control people. And chances are, before you got into this, we all did this. We all tried to get other people to behave in some certain way so that we could feel better. And they did the same to us. I did this to others, others did this to me. Before I really started learning all this, And I was just running around trying to control all of these conditions of my life. And this is a recipe for disaster, because if you are depending on anything else outside of you or anybody else outside of you, or how anybody else sees you or what anybody else says to you, responds to you, you are going to be in such big trouble if you're depending on that for how you feel. Because people are fickle. Even if there's someone out there that really tries to comply and really tries to be the way that you need them to be so that you could feel better, at some point their attention to you is gonna waver, because that's just how it is. They have their own life to live too, so they can't keep on giving you this undivided attention, even if this person is always nice to you and whatever. And as soon as that happens, if you are dependent on them for how you feel, for feeling good, then now you're in trouble, because they're not giving you attention anymore. So now you don't feel good anymore, because you're like, where did they go? Because you haven't learned to manage your own emotional state. And the same way with conditions. Everything can always change in your life, And if you're dependent on things being a certain way so that you could feel a certain way, well then if something changes suddenly, now you're going to be thrown around all over the place. Or if something changes in the world in a way that you don't want, then the conditions of the world are going to be throwing you around emotionally. And again, it goes back to, what is your emotional state then? How do you feel then? Because the universe just keeps on sending you how you feel. So if these conditions and people seems like they are throwing you around, and that is what is deciding what your emotional state is, what your mood is basically, then your life is just going to become a mess. And you're not in control of anything at all. And you never know what's coming next. And because your emotional state is just all over the place, depending on who is doing what and what is going on. But if you get into law of attraction, if you actually start learning what this is about, then you learn how to manage the only thing you can manage, which is your emotional state. And then your life is not so chaotic, I promise. Because why is this the only thing you can control? Because how you feel is not dependent on people, what they are doing or what they are saying. And it's not dependent on conditions, what is happening. It is dependent on what you are thinking about those things. The easiest example I can give you is you could be taking a walk. This has happened to me. You could be taking a walk, and let's say you are in a frustrated place. Then everything that happens, let's say there's a car speeding by, you are most likely going to be annoyed by that. You're going to be frustrated by that. You're going to be like, why can't these people, don't they know how to drive? They're putting other lives in danger. Or you're going to think something like that because you're in a frustrated place. So those are the thoughts that are going to occur to you. But if you take that same walk from a good feeling place, you're feeling like everything is fine and life is great and you're really, really happy. And the same thing happens. This car speeds past you, you're not going to have these same thoughts anymore. Now you're going to maybe think, well, sometimes it's nice to speed, and this is not really that dangerous of a moment to be doing it in, or this is a nice car, or something like that. You're not going to be frustrated by all that. So the point of why I'm talking about this is because this is the same exact situation, but your emotional state is completely different. So you're going to perceive that situation completely differently. And that's what your life is. All of those moments in your life, no matter what is happening, it's about how you feel, because you experience everything through how you feel. And this is all you have access to. It's kind of like your emotional state just determines what sorts of thoughts and feelings you have access to at any given point in time. And then that's what your life is. Because how you feel is just getting responded to, and it's just becoming more and more and more. It's becoming more and more and more of how you feel. How you already feel. So, I just wanted to make this video to maybe get anyone else thinking about how this is a lot more than just your dreams and manifestations. Yes, you will get your dreams. Yes, you will get your manifestations. That's not some kind of bullshit. Yeah, I've seen it happen myself. But it's just so much more than that. It's about how you feel. Your life is just a string of moments in which you feel some type of way. So this is why all of this matters. So I hope that this has been helpful somehow, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.